series hosted by the Kriya Sharira department. Our department has always been dedicated to bridging traditional wisdom with contemporary insights. Building on the success of the last academic during which we hosted over 10 expert guest lecture series and motivated by the incredible feedback from our attendees, we decided to take our discussions to a broader stage. Today marks the beginning of a journey to make the core principle of Kriya Sharira accessible to an even wider audience of scholars and practitioners.
वक्रतुण्ड महाकाय सूर्यकोटि समप्रभ निर्विघ्नं कुरु मे देव सर्वकार्येषु सर्वदा.
Now I invite Abhinaya for giving welcome address.
Respected Principal Sir, distinguished resource person, esteemed faculty members, and dear students, good evening to one and all present here. It gives me immense pleasure to welcome you all to the Kriya Sharira Guest Lecture Webinar Series 2026, organized by the Department of Kriya Sharira, Ayurveda College and Hospital, Coimbatore. Today's session is on the topic physiological and clinical significance of Vata Dosha, which is one of the most fundamental concepts in Ayurveda governing all movements and functions in the body. We are truly honored to have with us our esteemed resource person, Dr. Nagaraj Kamath, Associate Professor and Pro Head Department, Kriya Sharira, SDM College of Ayurveda and Hospital, Hassan. Sir's vast knowledge and expertise in the field will surely enrich our understanding and provide valuable clinical insights. I also extend my warm welcome to all the participants who have joined this session. Your enthusiasm and interest in learning make this academic initiative meaningful and successful. I take this opportunity to express my sincere gratitude to our respected principal and management for their continuous support in organizing such academic activities. Without further delay, let's begin this insightful session. I once I once again welcome you all and wish you very informative and engaging webinar. Thank you.
Thank you, Abhinaya. Now I invite Vaishnavi to give biodata about our guest lecturer.
Dr. Nagaraj Kamath, MD, Kriya Sharira. He completed his undergraduation from Sri Dharmasthala Manjunatheshwara Ayurveda College and Hospital, Udupi, in the year 2012. He has been awarded with the Virendra Hegde Pathabik Sheshu Award and Jivaka Award, Himalaya Drug Company, for the academic excellence. He completed his post-graduation in Department of Kriya Sharira, Sri Dharmasthala Manjunatheshwara Ayurveda College and Hospital, Hassan, in the year 2015. He worked as assistant professor in the Department of Kriya Sharira, Karnataka Ayurveda Medical College, Mangaluru. Presently working as associate professor and assistant head in the Department of Kriya Sharira and Dean Innovation and Skill Development at Sri Dharmasthala Manjunatheshwara Ayurveda College and Hospital, Hassan. He has presented more than 30 papers in different national, international, and state level seminars. He has delivered more than 50 guest lectures in the different Ayurveda college in online and offline mode. He has more than 135 research and review article publications to his credit in various national international Ayurveda medical journals as first author. He is also the editorial board member of different international Ayurveda medical journals. He is been awarded as Asia Book of Records and India Book of Records for the highest number of publications in different fields of Ayurveda in the period of 1 year, 10 months. He is Kalam's Vajra Book of World Records holder and International Book of World Record holder for authoring world's first detailed Android app on Ayurveda physiology, Kriya Sparsham. He has authored more than 14 books till date. Few texted books to mention are Essentials of Kriya Sharira and Kriya Sharira Made Easy. Comprehensive textbooks on Kriya Sharira Volume 1, 2, and 3. Illustrative work manual and Kriya Sharira published under Chaukamba Sanskrit Sansthan, Varanasi. He has two digital books entitled Suvarna Sangraha, The Golden 50, and Taranga. Audio classes of Kriya Sharira to his credit and has Kriya Darpana, an audio video guide to Kriya Sharira under his YouTube channel. He has an Android Play Store app to his credit entitled Kriya Sparsham, and it is been updated from 1.0 to 2.0. He is author of the book entitled A Textbook on Agni and its relationship with different body constitution, a handbook on the concept of rheumatoid arthritis as Ayurveda, published by Lambert Academic Publishers Europe. He is author of the textbook entitled Kriya Capsule, a pocket book on Ayurveda physiology and Ayurvedic nebulization for bronchial asthma, published by Amazon. He is having a credit of setting up a studio in SDM Hassan for the first time. He is head of media department and dean innovation and skill development unit at SDM CAH Hassan. He has done cinematography and editing of more than 250 videos posted in official social media platforms of SDM Hassan. He is awarded with Best Teachers of 2021 and SDM Ayur Guru 2022 by SDM CAH Hassan. National level Best PG Teacher Kriya Sharira Ayurveda Association. Thank you.
Thank you, Vaishnavi. Now we are about to start the session. Now I invite Dr. Nagaraj Kamath sir, our guest lecturer, to start the session. Sir, can we start the session?
Yeah, of course. Whether my voice is audible?
You can share the PPT, sir.
Is my voice audible?
Yes, sir, your voice is audible.
Thank you so much. I will share my screen now. Hope my screen is visible.
Yes, sir, screen is visible.
Thank you. Thank you so much. First of all, I want to thank the organizers for giving me this wonderful opportunity to speak on the physiological as well as the clinical significance of Vata Dosha. So before going into the specific of Vata Dosha, first we should know what dosha is or what dosha can be emphasized in the body. There are two dimensions of understanding body, that is human body, where Ayurveda clearly tells that one particular branch which deals about the structure and functions of the body, that is Sharira. So it is having two subunits, that is Rachana Sharira and Kriya Sharira. So Rachana Sharira is the one which gives more emphasis on the structural understanding, whereas the normal functional understanding is being emphasized in Kriya Sharira. So one point we should keep the functional aspects, it will be in different dimensions. because when you consider with the terms which are mentioned in Ayurveda, as far as given with structural emphasis, then one-to-one correlation is easily possible in contemporary science. Like for example, let us consider the word netra in Ayurveda, which can be easily understood as eye in modern anatomical understanding. Kesha has hair, and Danta has teeth. So one-to-one correlation is very easily possible in case of Rachana or structural aspects. But when we consider the functional aspects, then the same one-to-one correlation is quite difficult. Because here many entities do come, and we are totally comprehensively understanding the science, not as one particular one-to-one. It's not at all possible. That is why there are many things to deal in between. But if you ask me that, what doshas are in the body, like if somebody asks you, Ayurveda people, you do say about Vata, Pitta, and Kapha. So, what are this Vata, Pitta, and Kapha in the body? Can you tell me or can you explain in terms of contemporary science? Then definitely we can consider these doshas as the functional units of the body. Whereas Vata, you can consider it as the controlling unit. Pitta has the transforming unit, and Kapha has the stabilizing unit of the body. And this controlling unit, transforming unit, as well as the stabilizing unit, it can be understood in different levels of organization. It may be a cellular level of organization, it may be tissue level, it may be organ level, or even systemic level. So, for example, the controlling unit of a cell is nothing but nucleus. So, I am not telling that Vata is nucleus, but the controlling function of nucleus, that particular thing, which controls almost all the functions of the cell, that function of the nucleus is nothing but Vata. Maximum transformation do occur in Golgi complex as well as mitochondria. So this transforming functions that occurs in these two organelles can be understood as Pitta at cellular level. The same thing, a cytoskeleton, it may be in the form of microtubules or microfibrils, etc., and even cell membrane. They give that strength and stability to the cell. So that function to be considered as kapha at cellular level of organization. So this is vata, pitta, and kapha to be understood at cellular level. The same if you take to the systemic level, the controlling system of all the other systems is nothing but the neuroendocrine system. So this mainly can be understood as vata. Whereas if you consider the musculoskeletal system, immune system, or rather nowadays it is called as reticuloendothelial system, this can be understood well as the functions of kapha. And in each and every system, transformation occur. Like for example, in respiratory system, oxygen is taken in and converted to carbon dioxide and water. In GIT, food is taken in and it is converted to waste products as well as nutrients. So whatever the transformation that occur in any system, that is nothing but pitta. So in this broad perspective, if we go forward, then the understanding of dosha becomes very much easier. Because this, why this is important? Because whenever we are considering in this particular scenario where 21st century AI tools and the evidence based, etc., we should be able to convince the general public as well as the scientific community. So at that time we should be very much approachable in terms of clinical wise as well as physiological terms also, and even in pathology also. So this particular understanding will help us even taking forward the concept of doshas, not only in physiology but even in pathology also, as well as even in case of planning the proper treatment also. If we consider, for example, I can hold my hand in a very stable manner, or else I can hold this particular pen in a very firm manner, means I am having that control. But if I lose this control, I am having tremors, something like that, we can consider, there is some problem with vata. And whatever the food that I consume, it should be properly transformed into the stools and nutrients. But if my stools are not proper, I am having loose stools, it means, oh, there is problem with pitta, there is some problem with transformation. So this is how we have to consider with the involvement of the doshas in terms of physiology as well as pathology. So, and this particular thing will help us in planning the treatment also. So considering this particular perspective, that is, the functional units, has doshas, point number one. And second point I want to emphasize is our Ayurveda textbooks. Even if you take Samhitas or else contemporary textbooks in Kriya, we lack images. Our students or our community will find it much more difficult to understand or imagine whenever, because only shlokas and translations will be there. I can better use the word translation. Okay. And there are no images. So this particular presentation, it will be filled with images so that you get proper understanding about the concept, and it becomes much more easier, because even physiology says that visual memory is stronger than the auditory memory. So if this particular image is, fixed in your mind, then definitely you can, recollect those particular things. And even in case of clinical practice, it may be, or else even in your academia exam also, it will be helping you a lot. So we'll move forward. When you consider with the Vata, the first point comes here is with regards to the utpatti of the word do Vata. So we get a famous quotation which is told as, Vagati Gandanayoho iti dhatu. And we say that Gati is movement, and Gandana, majority of the textbooks even says that it is smell. But it is not so. The word Gandana is having four dimensional understanding. Number one, it is Prapti. Second is Gamana. Third is Jnana. And fourth is Utsaha. This you get in Raja Martanda textbook, that Gandana means what? Now, we understood this particular Utpatti of Vata Dosha, that heading, side heading, it refers to how the word is derived. So, it is of whether it is only of grammatical importance for us, whether there is a, hidden Ayurvedic or, physiological understanding. So when we go inside deep, then we can understand that by considering four words, our acharyas have detailedly explained the complex physiology which is being mentioned in the modern textbooks. So here, prapti word is considered as perception of the stimulus by the receptors. That is what you can see in the image. Then gamana, which is considered as movement, that is nothing but the movement of the impulses from the receptors towards the brain. And jnana and utsaha, the jnana refers to knowledge which is being perceived by the brain. And utsaha, it is raw enthusiasm, but it's not enthusiasm as such, but it is consciousness. You can consider that the person should be properly oriented. So that particular point is utsaha. And later on, even the generation of reflex responses, that is also coming under the jnana. And that response will again move through the motor nerve fibers. That movement of those impulses is again gamana. And finally, the muscles which are there, they should act. As you see in the image, they should take away from that particular thorn. So that is prapti. So by these four simple words, the complex physiology, the modern physiology textbooks, it will give pages together on this particular reflex arc mechanism, as the introductory point in the physiology. And the introductory point in Ayurvedic physiology is Vata, and in Vata also, Utpatti of Vata. And by mentioning these four words, the complex physiology of reflex arc mechanism is being emphasized. So next point, we will move forward. So this is regarding the Utpatti of the Vata dosha. The next point comes is with regards to Guna. 1 minute.
Nagaraja.
Yes. Yeah, anyone is having any problem? Fine.
No, sir.
Okay. So next point is with regards to the guna of Vata. So here, when we consider with the guna of Vata, it is told that Ruksha, Vata is said to be dry. Now you can see in the image that dryness which is visually perceived in the skin or in any part of the body, because ruksha, it is said to be has, pratyaksha means akshur, it's akshushya gamya bhava. It is to be perceived by the eyes. So that particular ruksha refers to the dryness. That is the main property of water. And next property is said to be as shita, that is cold. Whenever it may be generalized, it may be localized part or whatsoever, feeling of that particular coldness. Whenever we consider a different level of organization, even sometimes we feel that basal metabolic rate, it goes down. And we know it very well that whenever there is metabolism, there is heat production. More the heat production, okay, the lesser the Shita guna. But here, when metabolism goes down, Shitata increases. So that is what we have to understand with regards to the Shita quality, that is cold. And next point is Lagu. Lagu refers to light. You can see in the image that it is feather. Feather refers to that it is very, density is very, very less. So that particular point to be emphasized, as those particular molecules are which are there in the body, which is having very less density. The molecular weight is very less. It can penetrate even through the minute pores. That emphasizes the lagu guna. And the next point, is khara, that is rough. So here we have to understand that whenever we are talking about the kharatva, that is the roughness, then this is coming under the sparshana gamya bhava, means by touch. Rukshata, it is by the vision, whereas kharatva, it is by the touch. So this particular point also, whenever we touch any part of the body, it may be hairs, sometimes even in the heels, we find that particular roughness. So that particular point is to be understood as khara property. So sometimes we can see that this rukshata, the dryness it may be, or else kharatva it may be, that has to be understood in terms of physiology as well as pathology. Means some individuals do get the dryness as well as the roughness in winter season. This is very much common. But if an individual pathologically in summer season or any other season, if he or she gets that particular dryness as well as the roughness, then we can understand that that is something pathological. So the physiological, we can understand that influence of the nature, the seasonal variations, or else even it may be with regards to the body constitution also, which will be detailedly taught in Prakriti. And the next property is Sukshma. So here Sukshma refers to minute. So here we can understand that it may be with regards to the movement of the molecules, it may be, or else the capillaries which get divided into so minute. Okay, so that particular point, to be understood has a sukshma quality. And last, most important point is chalatva, that is movement. So here, whenever we are talking about the chalatva, the movement, it may be the movement of the molecules in and out of the cell, the movement of the nerve impulses, the movement of the respiratory gases, the movement of the food substances, whatever it may be, from the small substance to the gross substance, whatever the movement happens, that is nothing but the property of Vata, that's Chalat. So these are the six important, Vata is also mentioned in Ashtanga Hridaya Sutrasthana first chapter. So this is with regards to the properties of the Vata dosha. Six properties are there. So this particular image, if you are keeping imprint in your brain, then it will be easy for you to recollect. The next point is Vata sthana. So here you can see that on the screen that I have given the translation as site of action. So whenever we consider the translation of Vata sthana, majority of the textbooks will tell that Vata location of Vata. But our Acharya says that it may be Vata, it may be Pitta, or it may be Kapha. It is present throughout the body. Now only we understood that in each and every cell also there is Vata, Pitta, and Kapha. So no, there is nothing like location of Vata. But here we have to understand that the dominant site of action, it may be in terms of physiology, or else it may be in terms of pathology. This is to be understood as Vadasthana. So our acharyas found out that Vata Pitta Kapha, or in specific now Vata, if I'm speaking of Vata, it is present throughout the body, but in specific, there are some locations in which Vata functions are dominated. And in the same locations, we see the pathology also more common. That is why they are considered as a Vata Sthana. It doesn't mean that Vata is present only in that place. This is very, very important. So, in this context, I want to again quote the reference of Ashtanga Hridaya, where it says that Kapha is present above the shoulder region, Pitta is present in between the heart and the Nabi, and Vata is present below the Nabi. And there is a big discussion that Vata is lighter, it should be floating above. Kapha is heavier, it should be down. All these things, this is actually telling that just want to fit in the things inside without logical thinking. So it's not that heavy, dense, nothing. Vata, Pitta is Kapha is they are present throughout the body, but these are the sites of action, both in terms of physiology as well as pathology. It is dominantly seen. That's it. Okay. So that particular point I have to keep in mind. And here, when you consider with the first sthana which is being mentioned is Pakvashaya, that is large intestine. And nowadays we can see that the modern physiology, they speak of gut-brain axis. Means the gut is having directly relationship with the brain, means the main part of the nervous system. So that is to be understood. So that is why our acharyas have given that much emphasis that Pakvashaya is given first priority. And whenever you see any Vata Vyadi, for example, Pakshagata, stroke, palsy, paralysis, what best treatment is given? Basti, which is the medicine is given to the large intestine and absorbed and reaches the brain. So this is how we have to understand. It is having logical understanding. And the next area is said has pelvic region, that is Kati Pradesha. And Sakti Pradesha, some say it is flanks, that is side part of the abdomen, and some say it is thigh region. And the next area is said to be as Srotra, that is ear, Shrotra, that is ear. And another area is said as Asti, that is bones. And the last one is Parshanendriya, that is skin. So these are considered as, once again, you can see the gunas were 6 and even the sthanas are 6. And in this 6 sthanas, Pakvasha is said as the Vishesha sthana. So this considers, with regards to the third point, that is, the sthana of Vata. We started with the Utpatti of the Vata dosha. After that, the guna of Vata dosha. And the third point is with regards to the sthana of Vata dosha. The next most important point has terms as physiology is concerned. Then the karma of Vata. So here it is told that, whenever we consider with regards to the translation of the shloka, we have to better go for nearby clinical translations rather than direct language-wise translation. Now you can see the first image there. The first karma of Vata, it is said as Utsaha. And in bracket is written as enthusiasm. This is definitely a language-wise translation. If you are going logically, then it shows that orientation to the time, place, and person. For example, you are in a class, teacher is taking class, talking on Vata Karma or some other topic, and teacher asks you some question. If you are properly oriented, then only you will answer. Otherwise, no. So that's why we have to give the clinical understanding more rather than mere translations. So that gives us, a particular dimension of clinicality. Okay. So that is what is Utsaha refers to. Then Ushwasa and Nishwasa together becomes respiration. Inspiration and expiration to be considered together, respiration. And Chesta, any kind of activities that minor and major activities, that is to be considered as the karma of Vata. And next one, Vega Pravrattanehi. Vega Pravrattanehi refers to initiation of natural urges. It may be cough, it may be sneezing, it may be it may be mixture, defecation, all those urges, initiation of those urges, it is under the control of Vata. And the next point, Samyak Gatyam cha Dhatunam, proper functioning as well as nourishment of the dhatus. That is under the control of Vata dosha. And last important, Akshanam Patavena cha, proper function of the sense organs. So this six, once again, is the karma of all are the karma of Vata dosha. Okay. So now I just want to go back and just want to tell you that how easy it is, because many of the students do have a problem with the shloka. They feel that it is a major hurdle. Okay, definitely there will be around 60 to 70% of the students who will cope up with the shlokas, but that 30% of the students, 30 to 40% of the students, they struggle with the shlokas. So for them, I feel that this is the best idea to overcome the difficulty of shlokas. You imagine those particular images, and as per the images, you can create the shlokas as it is. If you see here, just going there, you can see that the images how it is placed in sequence, and Ruksha, Shita, Kara, Sukma, Shilo. All these things automatically you can create the shloka there without harming grammatical or something. Okay, 90% of the shloka will be done. 10% you have to manage as. And you see, even with the sthana, Pakvashaya Kati Sakti, you see the shloka also, same. Pakvashaya Kati Sakti, Sroto Asti Sparshani. One line is done. And the second line, Sthanam Vatasya, are the sthanas of Vata. Tatrapi, in that also, Pakvadanam Visheshataha. Pakvashaya is the Visheshasthana. So this is how we have to, it is not that we have to only emphasize or think on problems. We have to take the solutions. And this is the best way. That is why, images are the solution for almost all the things. It gives clinical touch also, and it makes the shlokas decoding also very much easier. And even see the karma, this is now what we studied just now. Utsaha, Ushwasa Nishwasa, Chesta, Vega Pravartanaihi, Samyak Gatyam Chadatunam, Akshanam Patavenacha. Looking at the images only, I am making the shloka. So this is the best way, to those who are struggling with the understanding of the shlokas. Because our visual memory is so strong that, that is what is needed to overcome this particular problem, according to me. Okay. So next point is with regards to the types of Vata dosha. So here, Vata is, as we understood, it is a controlling unit. It is present throughout the body. But when we consider the sthana wise, when we consider the function wise, it can be categorized into 5 types. And that is what we are going to see one after the other. So here the first one is said as Pranavata. And here they say that the first word, Pranavatra Murdagaha, they say. Murdagaha. Murda means head. And Gaha means Murdam Prati Gachateti Murdagaha. The one which move towards the Murda Pradesha. That is considered as Murdagaha. And the next point, Uraha, which is understood as thorax. And then Kantaha, that is throat region. Okay, this is the main sthana of the Pranavata. And next, what and all it does, what and all things it is responsible for. It is responsible for buddhi, that is intelligence. It is responsible for the proper functioning of the heart, that is hridaya, and even indriyas also, that is sense organs, and even ubhayendriya, that is chitta, manas. And most important, again they want to emphasize in sense organ, eye is most important. That is why they tell druk, that is eyes, to be one of the stars. So this is how we are going to emphasize with regards to the karmas of the pranavata. And the next, the last line, whatever you see, they are the natural reflexes. It may be spitting, stivanaha, shavatu, sneezing, and udgaraha, that is belching. After having proper food or after having some carbonated drinks, that belching comes, udgara comes, dakar we say in Hindi. So that is considered as udgara. And here, Nishwasa term, it doesn't mean only inspiration or expiration. Overall, it emphasizes respiration. And finally, Annapravesha, that is deglutition also. So here when we consider, if you want to, summarize this Pranavata, then Pranavata main location, you can consider that it is chest region as well as the neck region. And the movement is towards the brain, it is towards the head, and it is mainly responsible for the functioning of the heart, sense organs, and main reflexes, including deglutition. And when you consider this particular points, then in modern language, to what it can be related with? It can be related with the functions of the brain stem. The functions of the brain stem can be best related with the functions of the pranavata. All the sensory, whatever we say, pathways, it moves through the brainstem. It may be Stivana, Kshavatu, Udgara, respiration. All these things are under the control of brainstem. You might have seen a person is hanging himself, suicide, and then the bone, the cervical bone, it breaks, and it affects the brainstem and injures the brainstem. Immediately, respiration stops, person dies. So this is how we have to understand that Pranavata is best understood as the functions of the brainstem. I am not telling structural relation here, but I am understanding or making you understand the functional dimension. So the functions of the Pranavata can be best understood as the functions of the brainstem. Next point is Udanavata. This is the most interesting point because this shloka, which is being emphasized by our acharyas, we are wrongly interpreting it. That is why the direction goes somewhere else. We only translate the shloka rather than understanding the clinical or physiological application even. For example, here you see Uraha, Sthana Udanasya. Uraha means thorax, agree. Is the Sthana of Udanavata. Next point is Nasa. Nasa is nose, definitely. Then Nabihi Galams Charet. Gala means throat region, agreed. Nabi, majority of the times it is translated and it is told that it is umbilicus. But if you refer into Moner Williams dictionary or Shabdakalpadruma, it clearly says that Nabi refers to center. You have to take, the concept or contextual meaning. In this particular context, it refers to the center for speech. Why I'm telling this? Because Acharya Shishruta says among the 5 types of Vata, Udana Vata is Shrestha. And he emphasizes that why? Because it is mainly responsible for the speech production. That is why it is Shrestha. So here we have to consider that Nabi is center. It is nothing but the center of speech. Umbilicus is not having any role in the speech production. So this I want to emphasize very clearly. So we have to move ourselves from the translation to the actual applicable meaning or clinical interpretations rather than mere translation of the shlokas. Next point, you see the second line here of the shloka, that vak pravrittihi means it helps in the initiation or production of speech. After that, you see pravrittihi, okay, vak pravritti over, prayatna translated as effort, urja translated as energy, bala translated as strength, smriti translated as memory. But all these things to be related with speech. Vak pravritti, prayatna for speech, urja for speech, bala for speech, smriti for speech, and most important, varna, it is not color, but it is telling about varna mala, that is pronunciation of alphabets. Hence, this Udanavata is totally governing the speech production. And this is best related physiologically with the functions of the center for speech, which is present in the brain, including laryngeal plexuses, which control the speech production. This is best understood as the functions of Udanavata. So this is how we have to understand the doshas or the types of doshas. It is not that merely by hearting the shloka and knowing the translation. We should know to interpret. We should know how to have a logical and clinical understanding. Because in future, we are going to apply these concepts on our patient. That is what we have to understand. You know? Now, for example, I just want to tell you that why you have to understand all these things, interpretations, shlokas, all those things, why it is needed. Now, for example, when in your higher primary or so, you started with understanding algebra. In your PU, maybe you studied trigonometry. And in all these things, the first what is taught to you? The first taught to you point was formulas, theorems. All these things are taught to you. You never asked that a plus b the whole square is equal to a square plus b square plus 2ab. Why is it so? You just readily accepted it. And what you did? You by hearted those formula problem. You got the desired result and you finalized that, yeah, it's true. A plus b the whole square is equal to a square plus b square plus 2a. In the same manner, these shlokas are also like formulas. You have to know it, you have to understand it, and you have to by heart it. After that, you have to apply it. How do you apply the formula in the mathematical problem? Like that, you have to apply the shloka in the problem. And what is the problem? Problem is the patient. Whatever the complaint the patient says, that is a problem. In that problem, you have to apply the shloka wisely. And when you get the desired result, you get the confidence over Ayurveda and the shlokas that are emphasized in Ayurveda. And most important point, you don't put the formulas of trigonometry in algebra. You don't put the formulas of algebra in trigonometry. In the same manner, you should use wisely which shloka is applicable to the patient. That shloka only you should apply over the patient. This is very, very important. So, anyways, so this is what the second type of Vata emphasizes, especially on the laryngeal plexus, speech production, and its center, as Udana Vata. Then the third variety, which Ashtanga Hridaya says, that it is the Shrestha variety of Vata, that is Vyana Vata. And the Sthana is said to be as Hridaya, that is heart. And even it is said as it is moving throughout the body. Krishna Deha Chali. And it is Mahajava. It is maximum velocity. Someone voice I'm hearing, can you pause it there, please? Thank you. Mahajavaha means it moves with maximum velocity. And it is responsible for gati, that is any kind of movement. It is responsible for utshepana and apakshepana. You can see in the image that it is responsible for the flexion as well as extension. And nimesha unmesha, closing of the eyelids as well as opening of the eyelids. And most important, Praya Sarva Kriya Tasmin Pratibaddaha Sharirana. Almost all the activities is under the control of Dhyanavata. So this is what we have to understand, that Dhyanavata, where it is located and what at all function it does. And when we consider the Nimesha Unmesha, it is not only of eyelids, any valves, in the body. It may be of the heart, it may be which is present in the veins, all those things, even at the esophagus, GIT, whatever walls are present, the opening and closure of that to be understood as, the functions of this nimesha as well as unmesha. Closing of the walls is nimesha. Opening of those walls is unmesha. The flexion, the contraction to be considered as utshepana. It may be of the muscle, it may be of the smooth muscle, cardiac muscle, anything. And extension, the relaxation of that to be considered. So like this, we have to understand. And when you consider this, then we can see the two kind of activities, either fight or flight. These two kind of responses. That is nothing but the functions of the autonomic nervous system, which includes sympathetic as well as parasympathetic. Whenever you are at stress, S for stress, S for sympathetic. So whenever you are at a stress, sympathetic nervous system is active. Whenever you are at peace, you know, parasympathetic, peace, parasympathetic. So this is what we have to understand with the functions of Dhyana Vata. So the functions of the Dhyana Vata is well understood as the functions of autonomic nervous system. And now even there's one more point here, even one more additional dimension. As I see, you can see in the image, Hridaya is being told as heart. Even in this context, I just want to emphasize that the term Hridaya, it is having three letters, R, D, and Y. R refers to Harati, which takes. D means Dadati, which gives. And Y means Yatiti, which happens in cycle. So you can see that heart, it takes the oxygenated blood and then use deoxygenated blood, and it happens in the cycle. So this particular thing, that is why it is considered as Hridaya. If you consider brain, it takes sensory impulses, gives motor responses, and happens in cycle. That is why we can consider that the term Hridaya, instead of it is structural nomenclature, it is a functional nomenclature. Each and every cell takes the nutrition and gives out the waste products. This dimensions to be understood. That is what Hridaya. That is why you can see that Atmasthana or the Manasthana, it is said as Sarva Sharira or Hridaya. Means each and every structure, each and every cell can be understood as Hridaya. In gross level, heart definitely is Hridaya. Brain is said as Shiro Hridaya. Heart, Uro Hridaya. The Hridaya which is in the Ura Pradesh. Ura Hridaya. The Hridaya which is present in the Shiras. Shiro Hridaya. And even in the palms and the soles, you can see palmar arch is present. So that is Thala Hridaya. So like this, we have understand. So this particular dimensions also you should understand. If Hridaya is taken as Shiro Hridaya here, that is with regards to the brain here, autonomic nervous system can also be justified very well. So this is with regards to the Vyanavata. Next, Samanavata. Samana is said to be as Agni Samipaha. Sthana, it is said as near to the Agni. Now, what is Agni Sthana? They say that it is present near Nabhi. Now again, umbilicus, but it is not umbilicus. Abdomen is divided into 9 quadrants. In that one quadrant is umbilical region. And that particular region is having small intestine. Surface anatomy, umbilical region. Inside you have small intestine, and small intestine is an area where there is maximum carbohydrate, protein, and fat digestion. And Agni is responsible for chemical digestion or transformation. That is why that's to be considered as Agni Sthana. So Samanavata is related to the Agni, means it is mainly related to the chemical digestion. And it says, Koste Charati Sarvataha. It moves throughout the costa. Costa means GIT here to be considered. And the next point it says, Annam Grannati. And here we make mistake. Anna Grahana is a function of Grahani. Annasya Grahanat Grahani Mataha. And Grahani is nothing but small intestine. So the forceful grasping of the food from the stomach to the small intestine, Annam Grinnati. Then Pachati, well understood, that chemical digestion. Vivechayati, that is Sarakitta Vibhajana. The nutrients, it is absorbed, and the waste products, it is pushed forward. And that pushing forward of the nutrient also towards the body and the waste products towards the exterior, that is Munchati. That is emphasizing the mechanical digestion. Now see, you can see that Samana Vata is responsible for chemical digestion also, as well as mechanical digestion also. So here, if you see in modern or contemporary science, then enteric nervous system, which is considered as the second brain, GT, it is divisions. Meisner's plexus is Meisner's plexus is mainly responsible for secretion, whereas Meindrick plexus, they are mainly responsible for movements. Means it control secretion, means they control chemical digestion. Movement means it controls mechanical digestion. So the functions of Samana Vata can be best understood as the functions of enteric nervous system. So this is what you have to understand with regards to samana. The next point, last type of vata, that is apana vata. And apana vata direction is apana gaha. See, in the first vata, the gaha, the direction is above. Bastihi, bladder. Nedra, genitals. We can't say penis because it's present only in males. Then what about females? No? That is why Nedra, it emphasizes genitals. Uruhu, thigh region. And these are the sites of action. So what are the actions? What are the karma it does? Shukra nishkramana, that is ejaculation of semen. Artava nishkramana, menstruation, or even ovulation also. Then Shakrit Nishkramana, defecation. Then Mutra Nishkramana, micturition. And Garbha Nishkramana, that is parturition or delivery of the baby. These are the functions of Apanavata. If you see these particular functions, partly defecation and micturition, they are having some neurological control. Shukra Nishkramana, ejaculation of semen, it is mere hormonal. Menstruation, mere hormonal. Parturition, 95% it is hormonal influence. That is why I said that Vata at systemic level to be understood as neuroendocrine system, not a nervous system alone. Till 2015, I was belief that Vata is only nervous system. Vata can be understood as nervous system at systemic level. But by considering all these factors, we can best say that Vata can be understood as nervous plus endocrine, means neuroendocrine system. So this is how, because see, the knowledge wise, what I mentioned in our Samhita, it never changes. But contemporary science, it keeps on changing. As per that, we have to update ourselves also. So that is very, very important. I don't emphasize that whatever I have mentioned, it is 100% to be followed and 100% like that. But we find that particular relation, physiology, pathology, and clinical therapeutics, we find proper relation and it can be understood. I'm just giving a dimension. Definitely in future, you young minds can come forward with the different concepts, prove it logically, and redefine the total thing. It's possible. Right? So that particular point you should understand. As far as current physiological updates, we can relate Vata to this particular systems and the types of Vata to the following, part of the neuroendocrine systems. So once again, emphasizing from the first slide, Vata, Pitta, Kapha understood as functional units. Then we understood with regards to the Gamana Jnana Prapti Utsaha, reflex arc, how it is understood in the Utpatti of Vata. Then 6 properties of Vata, 6 sites of action of Vata, and main 6 karmas of Vata. After that, we told that the Vata types on the basis of location as well as functions, it is divided. Pranavata best related with the functions of the brainstem. Udanavata with the center of the speech as well as laryngeal plexus. Gyanavata has autonomic nervous system. Samanavata has enteric nervous system. And Apanavata almost considering the neuroendocrine system, which regulates all these functions. Okay, mainly the reproductive and you can see the urogenital triangle. That area, the neuroendocrine control can be understood well as the functions of Apanavata. So this is how we have to go on understanding with regards to the sthana, guna, karma, and the types. Next, last 2 points remain. That is vriddhi and the kshaya. Till now we have understood the physiology. Next point comes is the pathology. So vriddhi means increase. Kshaya means decrease. Fine. But what? The dimension of vriddhi and kshaya can be understood in 3 ways. Either gunataha vriddhi, either karmatah vriddhi or pramanatah vriddhi. Guna, karma, and pramanatah vriddhi and kshaya we should understand. According to that, the line of the treatment is going to vary. That you will understand in the further classes when you go to the second year as well as the third year. So here, these are the lakshanas that you see when the vata, it may be gunataha, karmataha, or pramanataha increases. And moreover, pramanataha means quantity wise. Here, vata, what's the quantity to be understood? Understanding the quantity of vata becomes quite difficult. But pitta and kapha, it's very easy. So again, considering all these aspects, the first point, when vata increases abnormally, it leads to karshya, that is emaciation. Karshnya, that is blackish discoloration. It may be localized or it may be generalized. Then Ushna Kamitva, a person who usually prefer to drink cold drinks, he will prefer to have hot coffee. He will prefer to have hot soups. Ushna Kamitva, liking for hot substances, even hot comforts. Then Kampaha, tremors. Anaha, gaseous distension of the abdomen. Shakrut Graha, that is constipation. And he says loss of three things: Balabramsha, Nidra Bramsha, and Indriya Bramsha. Means loss of strength, loss of sleep, and loss of functioning of sense organs. And next point is Pralapaha. Excessive, irrelevant speech is Pralapa. Then Brahmaha, giddiness, and Deenata, ill look over the face. So these are the points to be emphasized with regards to the Vata Vriddhi. These are the features which Acharyas noted down in their patients, that whenever Vata Vriddhi happens, these are the most common sign and symptoms. Apart from this, there may be some more also, but these are most commonly observed. Whatever our samhitas are there, they are scientific documentations. They are the research works. That point we should understand. Next, last point is Vata Kshaya. What will happen when Vata reduces? It may be guna wise, it may be karma wise, or pramana wise. Okay. How to understand this guna, karma, and pramana? That you will amshamsha kalpana, you will better understand when you go to the second year in Roganidan. So here, what happens when Vata reduces? Angasya sadaha, there will be body pain. Alpa bhashitaha, usually how much frequency and quantity a person talks. When compared to that, the person will be talking very less. That is alpa bhashite hitam. Will be comfort in talking less. Then sanya nashaha, loss of orientation. Mohaha, loss of consciousness. And most important, Acharya mentions, Sleshma Vruddhyokta Amayaha, means almost all the features of Kapha Vruddhi will be seen. So these are the features of Vata Kshaya. So as such, when we consider the doshas, they should be understood as the functional units, as controlling, transforming, and the stabilizing units, Vata, Pitta, and Kapha respectively. But a one-to-one correlation is not possible. From the cellular level to the systemic level, we have to understand Vata, Pitta, Kapha under different dimensions. And most important, that Utpatti of Vata, whichever is being emphasized, it gives complex reflex arc mechanism, which is being emphasized in modern physiology. Then later it may be, the Guna or even Sthana. Sthana not to be understood as location, but dominant site of action to be understood as. And later on, whatever the divisions are being made of 5 types of Vata, it is on the basis of Sthana as well as the Karma. And all the types of Vata can be very well related with the physiological correlations, which comes under the divisions of either nervous system or even the endocrine system. And the abnormalities of Vata can be best understood under two headings, that is Vriddhi as well as Kshaya. Vriddhi and Kshaya can be understood in terms of Gunataha, Karmataha, or Pramanataha. So these are the points which I wanted to emphasize. Apart from all these things, just I want to tell you in this image you can see here above that the Kriya Sparsham logo you can see. So this particular app, Android app, it is authored by me. If you go to the Google Store, not to the Apple Store, but Google Store, it is available. So you can download this app for free, Kriya Sparsham, and only for downloading you need internet. After that, it is having 5 divisions: Ayurveda 2 divisions, modern 2 divisions, including practicals and clinical physiology also, and interpretations, critical understanding. 5 divisions are available in this Kriya Sparsham. You can utilize it. It is made for the students, and even now we have added 2 more sections, which gives MCQs in Ayurveda as well as modern physiology. It gives, okay. And one more thing was comic physiology. If Vata Pitta Kapha can be considered as a comic, cartoons, then how best it can be understood. So that also is being added in this particular app. You can go through this, and later on, whatever the images that you saw, other than the Utpatti, okay, all these things are the part of my book. That is the Suchitra Kriya Sharir. Okay, it is 104 pages book. It is a small pocket book. You can keep it in your pocket. Okay, and all color images are there. Whenever you go, wherever you go, you can take it with you. It will be helpful for those people who are struggling with the shlokas, and even others also can utilize it wisely. Because what I feel is we are lacking with the images which are live. We are just by hearting the shlokas and knowing the translations rather than understanding the clinical meaning of those particular words which are being emphasized in the shlokas. So, this Suchitra Kriya Sharira also is widely used by the students, and I am getting very positive feedback with regards to this particular book. Definitely, you can contact me, and if you want to purchase, you can purchase also. Even institution for library purpose or student individually also they can purchase, because it is very handy and you can take it anywhere. So, anyways, I am taking off. Some of the works which are done by me. I once again take this particular opportunity to thank the organizers for giving me wonderful opportunity like this to interact with you people, to tell whatever the points that I know with regards to the doshas, especially Vata dosha, in terms of physiology as well as clinical understanding. Uh, all over to the organizers. Any doubts, anything is there, please let me know.
Thank you so much, sir, for your wonderful session. Now, the session is open for discussions. Participants, you can either raise your questions by unmuting or you can come up in chats.
Good evening, sir. So we got a question. How should the therapeutic approach change when managing Vata in pediatric versus
Definitely, when we consider with the therapeutic approach, in these two age groups, it is totally different. Whenever we consider with the geriatric age group, their dhatus are already in the Kshina Avastha, and Vata physiologically is dominating. And above that, they are having Vatic disorders. The managing is quite difficult. Okay, whereas in the pediatric age group, they are in the phase of growth. Means physiologically, they are being dominated with the Kapha dosha. And if they are having Vatic disorders, then the management definitely definitely will be differing, and it depends upon the condition which that particular person has. We can't generalize that this particular treatment can be given for Vata in pediatric and this treatment for Vata in geriatric. It's not possible. It depends upon the condition. The next was question is like how
So,
to
I
Pranavata and Apanavata coordinate their action to initiate the natural urges. No, no, no. Here, Pranavata is considering as the sensory impulses that are going from the receptors. It is always from the receptors to the brain. That is why it is Murda Gaha. So it may be sneezing reflex, spitting reflex, or any other reflexes. The sensory impulses that move from the receptor to the brain, that is to be considered as the pranavata. Whereas the apanavata, it is telling about the removal of different items. It may be ejaculation, it may be menstruation, it may be any other points. That is to be understood as as apanavata. Okay. Hope the students are not sleeping here after listening to me. It, you have to be kriyatmaka, you have to be very much dynamic, and you have to use your age, youth, for the good purpose. And you are the ones who are the torch bearers of Ayurveda, and you have to work hard. Already, the government is supporting for Ayurveda a lot, and you have to put your energy in the right direction to uplift Ayurveda. Already, it is uplifted; it's there in the top. The only thing is we have to emphasize on that thing and work. Okay. And the next point is with regards what is the role of Vata in Amavata management beyond just pain management. So here, whenever we consider with the pathology here, it is said that samprapti of Amavata, that is snigdha bhukva hi annam vyayama kurutastataha vayana prerito hi amam shleshma sthanam pradavati tena tatra dagdha sau dhamani pratipadyate. So whenever a person is indulging in snigdha ahara, he takes something oily food and indulges in exercise, then the dislodged vata, it will go towards the periphery. It may get lodged in the joints, and definitely that indigested particles also, we say toxins, the heavier macromolecules, that causes amavata. And definitely amavata, it is having its own chikitsa sutra. It may be your eranda taila usage, it may be, or else valuka sweda. Also, it is being emphasized. According to that, you can go. And definitely dosha vriddhi and kshaya pramanatah. Very good question actually. The quantifying vata pitta kapha, how that is possible. So whenever we are considering some of the lakshanas, we can consider the objective parameters. Like for example, hemoglobin. We say raktakshaya, etc., etc. We say okay, whether the volume is reduced, whether the hemoglobin is reduced, whether the iron is reduced, right? So according to that, we have to use the relevant blood investigations or any other investigations for that matter to see the vriddhi and the kshaya. Now, for example, ushwasa nishwasa, the respiration is function of vata. But if it is reduced, how to analyze? Use spirometry. Use clinical examination, just examination, respiratory examination you do, auscultation, whether the respiratory movement of the gases, whether it is proper or not, it can be emphasized. So like this, there are different tools, to understand, the pramanatah wise. Okay. But only thing is validating those tools is very, very important. That is why I always emphasize, please don't follow modern science. Modern science, they have their own research way, research publication, etc., etc. But it is not going to help us, in terms of Ayurveda. We have our own areas, our own lacunas. We have to work on that first. As I told you, simple utsaha. Everybody considers it as no enthusiasm. Are yaar, if I am sitting here in the clinic, how come this information is helpful for me? Utsaha is enthusiasm. I am not going to see that whether the patient is enthusiastic or not. I am going to see that whether the patient is oriented to the time, place, and person, whether he is able to communicate to me properly, comprehend properly or not. That is to be understood. So that dimension is very much important. In each and every aspect of kriya or ayurveda. Then definitely, whenever you consider with Yogavahi Guna, definitely whenever we are considering Vata, it is said as Yogavahi means whenever it conglomerates with the Shita, guna, it it kapha, it increases the shi tattva, and whenever it conglomerates with the ushna guna, then it causes daha. So this particular thing, the feasibility of the vata, to be understood as yogavahi guna, and because of this only, it is having much more clinical significance. If controlling kapha or pitta, it is very much easier, or treating kapha and pitta is much more easier. But to treat vata, it becomes much more difficult. Okay, so this particular quality and the chala guna or whatsoever, because of which only all these particular points are being emphasized. Now, for example, whenever we consider with the controlling of the vata, we apply yeah. Okay, the property whenever we see, whenever there is sandhi vata or something, we say that the shita guna etc. properties are being increased. So we apply opposite property, that is ushna property. The taila also has ushna, and we heat oil a bit and then apply. So like this, points are to be emphasized. And even we say no that we practice very strongly. Even our teacher used to say that whenever any vata, pure vatic disorders are there, okay, instead of massaging repeatedly and stimulating chalaguna, the movement which increases again vata, you just apply and leave for one muhurta. It will show its action better. So this all helps, in controlling the vata dosha. Uh, and Okay, sir, how to assess Angasada and Angamarda? So body pain is myalgia. Myalgia is to be understood as its subjective parameter. Means the patient himself will say that I am having that particular body pain, etc., etc. And I think the student wants to ask, the candidate want to ask Balabramsha. Balabramsha, which is told in Vata Vriddhi, and Angasada, which is told in Vatakshaya, both seems to be almost similar. Again, a very good question that has been asked. So loss of strength or body pain, both are almost mimicking the same. Here, whenever we are considering with the Vriddhi and Kshaya, the other accompanying lakshanas are to be given importance. Definitely, when for simple example, if I want to say, let us consider that rise of temperature. It is there in dengue, it is there in malaria, it is there in typhoid, everything. But how will you finalize that whether it is dengue, malaria, or typhoid? It is not only on fever, right? Rise of temperature. Pyrexia is not only the feature on which you are going to diagnose. There are other features also, accompanying features. On that basis, you have to emphasize that whether it is dengue, malaria, or typhoid. In the same manner, here also, on the basis of other features, you have to emphasize that whether it is Vata Vriddhi or Vata Kshay. Okay. After that, one more question is asked: is Drik is the eyes in case of Pranavata? Definitely. In Pranavata, they have told that they have told sense organs, Indriyas in the first, and then they tell again Drik. Pranavatra Muddagaha Aurakantascharo Buddhirendriya Chittadrik. Indriya is told, and again Drik is told. Indriya include eyes. But again, they have told Drik once again because they wanted to emphasize that Sarvendriyanam Nayanam Pradhanam. Among all the sense organs, Nayana, that is eyes, are the stressed. So that is being emphasized. Then what is the Lakshana mentioned in the 12th chapter, Samsa Vyasa Vedaswapa, how it is related with it? Definitely, this is a very good question here. See, our acharyas have divided, I can say, the states, or in specific, technically, gati. The gati of the dosha has, in three dimensions. Okay, that is sama, vriddhi, and kshaya. Sama means normal; it is prakrita. Kshaya means reduced. We know the lakshanas. The next one is vriddhi. What Ashtanga did is it gave common lakshanas. It didn't give subdivisions in the first. But later they found that array, nahi yaar, it should be having divisions. Vriddhi is having two divisions. If the doshas are getting accumulated in its own sthana, then it is chaya. And doshas are getting accumulated in its own sthana and about to move, not moved, but about to move to the other sthana, that is prakopa. That is why vriddhi and having vriddhi is having two divisions, that is chaya and prakopa. In some context, acharyas have given emphasis chaya and prakopa, both lakshanas are told separately. But for better clinical practice or easy clinical practice, in some context, they have given common lakshanas as vritti. Please, there is no meaning in debating on this or creating controversy. There is that nothing. Everything is very clear in the samhitas. They are very precise. Only thing is how you take the benefit out of the shlokas as per your context and yukti. That is why whenever you are reading the samhita, use the pramanas properly, use tantra yuktis properly. Tantra Yuktis, which is being mentioned in Siddhisthana, 12th chapter of Charaka. How to read the Samhita. According to the context, you have to change the meaning. That is Adhikarana. All these things. Ekanta, Anekanta. One word will have many meaning. One word will have one meaning. Now you see Nabi. It is umbilicus also. It is center of speech also. Even it is umbilical region also. So one word will have many meanings as per the context. This is the beauty of Sanskrit or beauty of Ayurveda. Okay. This is what I want to emphasize. I think the questions are being done and it was very useful for the students. Apart from this, also, if you have any doubts with regards to Kriya Sharira, you can definitely contact me at any time. It may be through the mail or it may be through the call. You can get it. Even if you search in Google, Dr. Nagaraj Kamath Kriya Sharira, you will get all the details. You can contact me at any time possible. And even the organizers or the students who are present here, your teachers, also they have my contact number. You can collect from them and you can contact me at any time. I am always there for the Kriya Sharira and for Ayurveda. Thank you.
Thank you so much, sir.
Hope
We are at the end.
the answers are answered. Any more queries?
No, sir. All questions were answered, sir. Thank you so much. We are at the end of the session, and I request Subhashni to deliver a vote of thanks.
Both of thanks. Respected Principal Sir, distinguished resource person, esteemed faculty members, and dear participants. It's our privilege to propose the vote of thanks for today's Kriya Sharira Guest Lecture Webinar Series 2026. First and foremost, I express my sincere gratitude to our esteemed speaker, Dr. Nagraj Kamath, Associate Professor and Pro-Head, Department of Kriya Sharira, STM College of Ayurveda and Hospitals, Hassan, for delivering such an enlightening and informative session on physiological and clinical significance of Vata Dosha. Your valuable insights have greatly enhanced our understanding of the subject. I extend my heartfelt thanks to our respected Principal Sir and management for their concerned support and encouragement in organizing this webinar. I also thank all the faculty members for their guidance and coordination in making this program a success. My sincere appreciation goes to all the participants for their active involvement and interest throughout the session. Last but not least, I thank all the organizing team and technical support members for their efforts in smoothly running conducting this webinar. Once again, thank you all for your valuable presence. Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you. Thank you so much. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Thanks a lot, sir.
Thank you.
Now we are at the end. Now we are at the end of the session. Thank you for joining. We request you to join in our next webinar series. Soon we'll soon we'll meet. We are at the end. You can leave. Thank you.
kindly bring all of them to the